Hi friends! So today I'm going to show you something really cool. It's a tool called a microscope. And microscopes are used by scientists. Scientists are people that study how the world works. There's all different kinds of scientists. When I'm not at WBs with you, I'm usually using stuff like microscopes or other things since I also study science. So today I'm going to show you what a microscope does. We're going to look at some things under the microscope. So, microscopes are used to see things that are very, very small. Just like a telescope that helps us see things that are very far away, microscopes help us see things that are very small, and it's like zooming in a camera. So, today what we're going to look at under the microscope is the petal of a rose. So here's my rose, and I took a petal from my rose. Since we're learning about plants, I decided to use a rose. So this is a rose petal that we're going to use. And a leaf from this other plant. I think this is a lemon balm plant. So we're going to take a leaf from the lemon balm plant, and we're going to use them to look under the microscope. So we're first going to look at the rose petal. So if you can see here, it's a little blurry from the camera, but there are little tiny little lines on the petal, and those are called capillaries. They help the rose petals move water inside of them so that they're all healthy and they can all drink up. Sometimes when we have plants or flowers that don't get enough water, they start to wilt and crumble. That's because there's not enough water going up the plant, around the capillaries, and around all of the petals. So today I took a little piece out of our rose petal and I put it under the microscope. So as you can see right here is our petal piece, and I'm going to show you what it looks like under the microscope. So to use a microscope, you put what you're going to look at under here, and you see there's a little light. I'm going to turn it on and off. There's a little light. We're going to turn the light on. And this right here, there's 3 of them. Do you see how this turns around? These are the lenses. So we're gonna look through the lens and then up through here. This is our viewfinder. So I'm gonna put my eyes up in here so I can see into it. And I'm gonna put my camera up to here so that you can see it. Okay friends, so here we have our microscope. There's the rose petal under there. And we're gonna see how the image comes up this way, and we're gonna put our eyes up to here. So I've already set it up, and I'm gonna put my camera really close. And as you can see, let me get it there. Do you see those lines? Those are the capillaries. That's where we can see where the water goes in. And now I'm gonna show you a different view. So here's another one. Do you see all the tiny little parts? They look like little paths. Those are the little paths where the water goes through the leaf. And now I'm gonna get even closer with my microscope. I zoomed it in so much closer, and now we can see all of the individual cells. Cells are what plants and animals and people and all different things are made up of. Here you can see all the individual little cells. Well, this is the most zoomed in view of the cells. Do you see how they all look like little tiny beads? That is what a petal looks like when we look really closely. And we don't see that when we look at a petal, right? When we look at a petal, it looks like this. We don't see all those little dots. We can see some of those little lines, but we don't see all those little dots. Our microscope here is helping us see really close into the petal. We can see all of those little dots. And the cool thing about microscopes is that you can put about almost anything under there, and you can see a really zoomed in version of it. So you can look really closely at almost anything. Okay friends, so now that we saw the petal, now we're gonna look at our leaf. So what kind of colors did you see through the microscope when we saw the petal? It was a pink petal, right? So we saw the cells that were pink, and we saw the capillaries that were pink. So now we're gonna look at the leaf. And what do you think this color is gonna be when we put it under the microscope? Yeah, it's gonna be green. So we're gonna put the green leaf under the microscope, and we'll see what we can find with the microscope. Okay friends, so I've taken a little piece out of the leaf and I've put it onto my slide here, and I'm going to put the slide into the microscope. And we're going to look at it. And here we have our little piece of leaf. There you can see it. The leaf. As you can see, there's a ton of little things on it. It might be dust particles, or it might be little pieces of the leaf. And as we predicted, it is green. The leaf is super green. And then we can see some of the texture of the leaf. We can find the cells of the leaf. Now this one looks really cool. Do you see all those little dots? Those are the cells of the leaf. Cells are kind of like building blocks or like Legos. When you put them together and you build something, it makes another thing. So sometimes we can put a bunch of blocks together and make a little house. Each block is its own thing, but when you put them together, they make a house. And that's how cells work. When you put a lot of cells together, you get a ton of different things. You get leaves and flowers, you get people and animals, all different kinds of things. And here is our last view, the most zoomed in view. Here we can see some of the capillaries too. And all of those little dots. And all of that is what we see when we look at a leaf really close up. Isn't that super cool? It's a leaf super close up. All right, friends, I hope you liked looking at stuff under the microscope with me. It's one of my favorite things to do. I used to play with microscopes a lot when I was a kid. So parents, if you're looking for a fun and educational toy for your kids, this tool is really great. You can find some cheap ones online. You can also find some that can connect into your computer, and you can, it's not your traditional microscope, but instead it looks like a little pod that you can move around. So this is a really great way to get your curious kids into some science and to teach them how to look at the world differently. Bye.